Anybody else in the center? The center, if you're in the back there, please come forward. If you'd like to speak. Okay, all right.
Hi, my name's Melissa Ifey, and I live at 229 Glen Ridge Road. And I've been listening in the back from when I'm hearing most people want a new library. I have 3 young children myself. I agree that we need a new library. It's in bad shape. The problem is that I think we need to really look at where we're getting the money from. There's a lot of people who are older in my neighborhood in Westgate Hills. They're not going to be able to afford the proposed tax hikes. I can't. I have a pretty good job. I'm a teacher, and my husband's a nurse. And our taxes went up because we wanted to stay in Westgate Hills, so we built an addition. And our taxes went up so much. And ever since then, it's like every bill we get is more money, more money. So I thought with the Haverford Reserve, we're going to get these beautiful carriage houses and, all this stuff that's at the Haverford Reserve. Aren't we getting money from that? Like, I'm not sure where all this money's, like, aren't they getting taxed? Isn't Lowe's paying taxes? Like, all these people? Are we able to not, use some of this money to help pay for this new facility that we need so desperately? Because I just know that we can't afford it. And the people on my street, I don't want anyone to move out. I don't want to move out. And I think that we need to be more diligent in thinking of ways to pay for this needed facility. It's got to come. Yes, it's got to come. There's no doubt. We don't want to keep this dilapidated building here. We need a new facility, but people can't afford it. I grew up in Radnor. And my aunts and my family live there. I don't understand why I pay more than my aunts pay in Radnor. I don't understand that. So that's all I wanted to say is just that we really need to think about how we're gonna pay for this. Thank you.
Sorry, you wanted to speak. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Candice York. I'm also an educator. I was a librarian for 4 years. I teach in the Upper Darby School District. When I started Upper Darby, there were 13 librarians. Now there are only 3. I believe that libraries are what every child needs. I came late, so I apologize. We live right next door to Lower Merion, who just has like 5 libraries, and they're all fabulous. If we want to see our properties, maintain themselves, we need to support the arts. We need to support the libraries. I almost lost my job 2 years ago in Upper Darby, and the community fought to save my job, which I'm so grateful for. I am now an art teacher because I was double certified. But I believe that as a community, we need to save all of our arts, all of our libraries. We are a very well-educated community. We are right next door to Lower Merion and Upper Darby. Which way do we want to go?
Oh, I'm sorry. Your address, ma'am?
Oh, I'm sorry. 504 Wynn Avenue.
504 Wynn. I'm sorry, ma'am, and then if you'd like to speak.
Irene Coffee, 1437 Maryland Avenue, and I'm a retired librarian. And I appreciate the woman who just spoke a few minutes ago and acknowledged the services of librarians. We've heard a lot tonight about the problem with parking at the library, and I certainly can sympathize with that because I suffer the same problems that the rest of you do. But I'm at the library frequently, weekly, and it's not only crowded outside, it's crowded inside. I think that the library staff does a wonderful job providing the services that they do under very restricted conditions. I agree with the woman who spoke earlier and said that it's a library staff that's trying to provide 21st century services in a 19th century building. it definitely needs to be upgraded, whether it's in this location, which I don't really think can happen. I agree with the people who have said we can't keep patching it. We've got to go someplace else. The library serves not simply the school children that we've heard about, but every level of the community. And I think that that's something that we also need to consider. This is something that does benefit the entire community. So I'm definitely in favor of doing whatever we can to improve the library condition, moving, if that's the way to go, to the area where the new municipal building may be, or to some other location in the township, but I'm not convinced that we can really meet the needs of the library in its current location. So I hope that we can find a solution, because it is a wonderful library that we all benefit from. Thank you.
Come on up.
My name is Jim Gillespie. I live at 680 Paddock Road. I'm a little confused tonight. If I didn't understand what the agenda was tonight, I would suspect that you didn't have a library in Haverford. Because we're not talking about a library, we're talking about a building. We have a library. Does it have to be upgraded? Should it be improved? I don't know how to do the cost-benefit analysis on a tax-supported enterprise. I came from the private sector. But, and I don't know how to figure the opportunity cost of a building that already has mold in it. I wonder what the Center for Disease Control, what their prognosis of that building would be. Does anybody know? I don't. I was on the computer all day trying to find out what the protocol was for doing a cost-benefit analysis on a building that has mold. That stuff will kill you. So, and we're not talking about building a library. We have a library. We're talking about a building. Different subject. It's like these people tonight are talking about a book, and all the teacher asked us to do was to talk about the main character, and they're talking about the whole crew. Narrow the subject. Let's make some progress with this debate.
Anybody else in the center? Come on up.
My name is Jerry Rouleau, 300 Brookline Boulevard. I just want to thank you for the privilege of listening to all my fellow citizens speak tonight, as well as the opportunity to address you. There's a lot of great points that were made. I guess I just want to bring up sort of the law of unintended consequences and just 3 specific points. The first is around traffic. The traffic at Manoa and Darby cannot be compared, I believe, to the traffic at Mill. Just a couple weeks ago, we had a 8th grade school child who was hit on that street and had to be medevaced with severe injuries to CHOP. The congestion there, once again, unintended consequences with all the parking. They mentioned 128 parking spots, just basically one way out of there as constructed. There's a lot of opportunity for kids running around that parking lot, whether it's a police officer making a call or just a parent getting out of there. So I think it's good that we walk to our buildings. It's not bad. We don't need a parking spot and that convenience all the time. So there is the law of unintended consequences. Mm-hmm. Secondly, having grown up in Philadelphia, I love Havertown and the charm and the history and the old buildings. My home is over 100 years old. That's what we're faced with here. I mean, some people call it a stark. That's what drew us here. I know it's great to want to have the nice, shiny, brand new buildings. But I think we have to show discipline, both financially as well as spiritually, that having the best building isn't necessarily having the best library, right? Having people congested in the same area, you literally bump into them. You exchange ideas. It's good that you have that sort of camaraderie. That's how you build a neighborhood. Getting out of your car and walking 2 blocks, that's good. I mean, I think we need to lead by example. We talk about how it's all right for our children to walk 6 blocks to the new library, but then we're driving around the block for 15 minutes, all because we don't want to walk 1 or 2 blocks. I mean, people, we need to lead by example as adults. I'm the father of 4 young children, and I don't always lead by example, but we need to pull together. And you know, one lady mentioned in a meeting previously, oh, it'd be great to just drop off my DVD in a slot and never have to get out of the car. Well, in 5 or 10 years, you're not dropping off a DVD. That's gone. But get out of the car. I mean, you're not a community if you're staying in your car. So that's the law of unintended consequences, that you want that congestion. I love the fact my kids use a library, and you go there and you see kids literally bumping into one another. And third, we have and I appreciate an extra couple seconds. We have a building. What are we going to do with it afterwards? Right? It's old. My home was old. You know what? You renovate it. You build it. We're smart enough to do that. We don't need a brand new building. But I do support the library. Thank you very much.
Anyone else in the center want to speak? Come up if you'd like to speak. Hey, anyone else? Anyone else? Dara, I see you back there. Do you want to speak? Anybody back there want to speak?
You have one right here. We have a winner.
Okay. Come on up.
Come on down.
My name's Steve Herrick, 129 Cathmere Road. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I think the biggest concern we have at this point, and I love everybody showing up and bringing to the table what they can, but I walk a lot because I have diabetes type 2. I know this town very well. I've delivered pizza to everybody here. I don't do that at the present time, but I see what happens on a daily basis here. Between the parking, the people speeding, going 40 miles an hour to the stop signs. Why are they going 40 miles between stop signs? Because they're not stopping. We don't have enough law enforcement to cover that. I know we cannot be everywhere at once at the same time, but I see it all the time. I talk to the traffic guy, Tim. Excuse me. I would just like to see people slow down. What is there an ordinance preventing a parking structure for where the library is now? Can we not build on top of it, level it? I don't know. I'm getting more and more infuriated every time I cross the street and yo-yos are not paying attention, and I don't see any enforcement coming out of it. I don't see the signs that say, come to a full stop, 100. I don't see anybody getting a ticket. I have to call 911 to get to a policeman to come over and stop the people parking so close to the corner you can't get around the corner. Just the fact that we're all stuffed in here right now is an indication that we have a cluster problem in this town. How many times do we all get frustrated and everybody's yelling at each other inside their car, politely? But I see it. I see it everywhere. I'm not happy. I'm part of it, and it gets my goat. And I don't like to see the community disperse as a result. Let's focus on what we can focus on and take care of those issues first. There is a plan. I'm sure we can carry it. I think this township does need a new library, and I'm not saying it's not a good idea to relocate it. Let's just think about this logically. Society tends to they don't fix things, they replace them. You're sewing, why'd I say sewing machine, but your vacuum cleaner breaks. What do? You try and fix it. You don't throw it away and go buy new. But this society that we live in, yes, we do. We don't care anymore. We just chuck it and leave it on the side of the road. And that's what's happening. And I see these kids trying to cross the street all the time down here at Mill Road, down here at Brookline Boulevard. No one's bare. I don't know what to say other than, are you people alive? It's very frustrating. I've said enough. I don't think, I don't know if I'll have any impact, but I've talked to Jim McGarrett. I've talked to everybody in this room. I've talked to the township. I've talked to the police. They think I'm just spinning my wheels, but I don't feel I am.
Thank you very much. Would you like to speak? Yeah, come on up.
I can't imagine.
Ken Khurana. I live at 351 Lenox or East Manoa, depending upon which sidewalk you walk down. I shovel a lot of snow at that point. I'm just going to make a comment based upon the last gentleman talking about police and talking about speeding and things like that. I live just a block from Arlington and East Manoa intersection. It's one of the most dangerous intersections around. Anyone who doesn't live there, I'm happy for you. But literally, you really have to look every way. And I can be out in my yard cutting grass, doing the hedge, whatever, and you ought to hear the people rev those engines up, coming up East Manoa. I have been in favor for a long time, I don't know what it takes to do this, put a camera at that intersection and take pictures and issue tickets to the speeders and the ones who go through those red lights up there. There have been accidents. The fellow who lives at the corner, Brian Croson, he had cars in his front yard knocking out those stone pillars. That ain't easy to do, but that happened. I can't help but think that no matter which direction you take, whether it's funding new buildings, renovating old buildings, you put a few cameras in around here, you could finance those buildings.
So the police can generate revenue.
I know
All right.
in a certain sense it sounds humorous, but it's more than that. It's serious. I don't know why we don't have cameras around. You know, it just blows my mind that we don't. I would suggest that.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else?
Any of the kids? Get some, no?
Yeah.
You're doing a school project. She's being a
are they?
reporter, but she's getting
Here
up
we go.
there.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, I'm really nervous right now, but okay. I'm Abby Sambier. I live on 29 Jacqueline Drive. I've heard a lot about students, but we also like going to the library. We like to know there's a place we can go to finish our projects, to cram in late work, or anything like that. We like to know there's a place that's always there for us. So moving, I'm not so forward for it. I like where we are now, but we could do some renovations, fix it, maybe get some more parking. That'd be great, and yeah.
All right. If that's it, then we can adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
We have 25 minutes to talk.
Hold on.
We can answer some questions.
Hold on a second. The board can answer some of the questions if you'd like. We can.
No.
No? Okay. All right. No, this is.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Just keep it the way it is.
Talk about another meeting.
We need another meeting.
Okay.
Can we schedule another
Working
meeting?
session where we're going to talk about all the things that people talked about here. Right.
Okay.
And,
We can.
and people could see us do that publicly. Obviously, we can't, we know we can't do it.
Maybe at
Gotta
the
do it
crick
in the
so there's
public.
more room?
Residents asked if we
We're
can.
gonna have to change the venue.
We'll
but
change
we
the
will-
venue. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll.
Well, actually, after all nine commissioners get their reserved spots, nobody's going to be able to park there.
I don't.
So.
All right. Seriously though. You want to at the next work session?
Microphone?
The next work session? Or we want to do it in the January work session?
Do it in the January.
Well, the
work
next
session.
work session, we do have to the extent that there's any discussions about the budget, some of our conversations at the next work session need to
Right.
be about the budget.
Okay.
And
So
and
the-
obviously, this is not part of the,
Okay, so we will have the discussion at the
2014
work
budget.
session in January. We
Yeah,
will,
that's fine.
we will get a larger venue. I promise. I'm sorry, we couldn't change the venue because we had to give enough time for everybody. We have to, by law, give 10 days. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I will attend. Thank you for coming, everybody.
I move we adjourn.
So moved.